So I just would like to know what the demon lifestyle is. Is it similar to the gay lifestyle? Like, do you like plot the end of heterosexuality?
Yeah, that's the one I don't know. I just recently got into the gay community.
So if we have any demons out there, could you answer some questions I have about what a demonic lifestyle looks like?
Which one of you is the man?
Which one of you is the priest? Which one of you is the angel? And which one of you is the demon?
Do you guys sometimes roleplay that one of you is the fallen angel?
If you're a demon, do you sometimes like to get up in a priest costume?
Oh my god, my cousin's a demon!
We've killed Aaron. We've killed Aaron.
Young money is the roster and a monster crow. And I'm pull up in the bank with a funny face. And if I'm fake, I ain't noticed cause my money ain't.
Welcome to My Brother, My Brother's Friend and Me, a podcast where two ex-evangelical siblings and an ex-Catholic non-sibling watch Christian media and either praise or condemn it. I'm Aaron.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Michael.
And this week, we start off Michael's season of Spooks with the 2018 horror documentary Demon House. Before we deep dive into the world of haunted architecture, make sure to like and comment on this video, subscribe to our channel, and follow the show on Twitter at MBMBFandme. Michael, our master of scares, tell us about the frightful episodes you've got planned for this Halloween season.
So I have an entire, Rolodex of horror movies.
Bad.
It's so good. It's so good. And, I decided I wanted to mix in a couple of documentaries dealing with real or supposed purported hauntings and possessions. And then also just horror classics, and then even a couple of contemporary ones sprinkled in. So we've got some journeys ahead of us.
That's one way to put it.
Also, stay tuned to the end of the podcast where we have a fun announcement about our Twitter. I'm so proud of all of you.
So let's talk Demon House a little bit.
Do we have to?
I am with you.
This is my favorite movie of the decade. This is
better than Velocipaster, really?
Velocipaster doesn't even break top 10. This movie is my favorite I've seen on this podcast. This movie is my favorite movie I've seen all year. This movie,
oh my god,
it changed me.
I mean, yeah, my whole DVR is haunted now, so I am changed, certainly.
I have multiple demon STDs, but thank you for introducing this into my life, Michael. I'm a born-again demon house.
So the reason I picked this film is because it had a combination of things that I think makes the perfect kickoff for this season of Spooks, in that you combine some Indiana action. You have a total over-the-top, very clearly fake paranormal investigator. But then you actually have that wrapped in a real, deep, dark story, which I actually think is the most interesting part of all of this, and the part that they spend the least amount of time on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the actual story they spend maybe a total of 30 minutes talking about, maybe. And, that's what I was expecting the entire thing to be about.
The thing that really makes me mad, besides the blatant exploitation of the citizens of Gary, Indiana in this movie, is just the fact that they didn't go into any of the interesting shit. And we'll talk about that, but they completely ignored the best part and spent so much time on this idiot sealing himself in a house.
So let's talk about Zach for a minute.
Please.
I think we have to start with Zach. So this, I gotta say, the optics of this, all of this, it actually is perfect that we're reviewing it on this podcast, because it gives me a little white savior goes on a missionary trip to a mostly brown neighborhood to fix all their problems.
Also, I'll save this for the end, because my biggest issue with this fucking movie was at the end. But, Zach, how would you describe him? Because I described it as if Smash Mouth took themselves even more seriously.
So I think it's important to know that Baggins was born in DC, but he grew up in Illinois. But he has a very DC energy of I am the most important person in the room, no matter who I'm sitting with.
He also has zero personality.
He's also... listen, this is an audio medium, so I must describe to the listeners, so much douchier than you could possibly imagine him looking. Just like, when we first got that first shot of him, like, looking at the camera without all the bad lighting, and, like, he had that fucking lids-ass hat, I just, like, screamed, because I was like, there's no way this human being exists.
Audience,
Toby Mac meets Chris Angel.
Audience, he looks like he has a very strong opinion on Monster Energy drinks.
He is a not all men man, and you just know it.
He has definitely said in the past 6 months, I'm not racist, I hate everyone equally.
So, we're not a fan. We're not a fan.
I want to point out that at this point, I'm assuming Aaron has cut out the 35 minutes that me and my brother went back and forth roasting this douchey man.
Just naming epithets for this guy.
I mean, look, he fucking deserves it, okay?
He does.
Okay, there's a point that I know this is in the middle of the documentary, but this just is who he is. This perfectly sums up who he is. He is describing a, like, death that occurred to one of his friends in the process of this house, and what he does is he shows a picture with him and the lady, a very goofy picture, then says she died brutally from a murder.
Yep.
And the same tone, just goes, I was distraught. Anyway, back to the house. Also, he does the entire narration in a voice similar to this one.
He definitely got feedback somewhere in his life that, and look, I'm about to read myself for a minute here too, because this is something that one could say about me. And it's that, you know, you have a voice for silent film. And that's okay. But the solution is not to then drop your voice an octave, but keep everything monotone. That's not the combination.
Me and Michael were voted voice for silent film, face for radio.
I have a face for silent film. Let's be real.
I have a face for radio.
I think you're both beautiful, and
Thank
I
you,
want you to
Aaron.
know that.
Your voices, though.
I have to listen to your voices more than I'd like because I edit this podcast, so...
Yeah, you probably hear my voice more than both of my parents.
Yeah, so it's a little weird.
But you know what? At least none of us sound like Zach Baggins.
Thank
God.
Jesus.
He was so goddamn monotone. It's like if you removed all of the charm from Jeff Goldblum and just kept in all of the monotone energy.
We have to stop making comparisons to this man. We have to talk about the actual documentary, or we're going to be here all night.
Listen,
Okay.
I'm going to drop these every chance I get.
That's fine.
So-
we can't front load this podcast.
Let's go ahead and walk through the actual haunting case, because I think that, you know, we should set the stage of like what this is and then tell Zach's terrible retelling of it. So this is a story about the demon house, or the 200 Demons house in Gary, Indiana. So this story follows LaToya, her mother Rosa, and her 3 children. This story was publicized all the way back in 2014. So basically this woman, her mother, and her 3 kids move into a house in Gary, Indiana. They moved in, saw like flies everywhere, had some like weird like things in a house that feel weird when they happen together, right? Like nothing unexplainable, but also too many weird things going on. So, like, footsteps in the basement, door creaking, there was a shadowy figure, boot prints, all sorts of things. Um, the family reached out to doctors. They said that their behavior was, quote, delusional. They contacted police. And so basically, at some point, they end up going to the hospital with the CPS agent, in which they see one of the little boys crawling backwards up the wall. And I think this is important to note because the CPS agent signed off of it, the doctor, the nurse, everyone said, yeah, we have no fucking clue how this child was walking up the wall. Then that CPS agent actually quit their case. There was a police captain who believed that crazy shit happened in the house. They actually hired a priest to perform an exorcism. And he concluded that they were being, quote, tormented by demons. He performed 3 exorcisms, 2 in English and 1 in Latin. And then
So
finally,
one of those counted.
Yeah.
I like the
Obvious-
fact that the demons only speak English, like contemporary English, in this documentary. It's so...
I know.
It's like, come on, you know the demons don't know what motherfucker means.
No.
They only speak Latin.
Obviously.
They were only around during the Roman time.
Precisely. Everyone knows this about demons.
Yeah.
Obviously.
They were invented with the Romans.
So I think a good place for this story to end for this family is they moved to Indianapolis and they just wanted to be left alone. And that is actually a great place to pick up with this documentary.
So Zach goes and bugs this family, and...
But let's talk about how he finds them.
He doxes them.
He doxes them. He,
Yeah.
looks up an interview they did and, looks at the house number on the side of this, interview from, a news station, and then he drives to that house in Indianapolis.
But also, he shows the news report.
Yep.
So if you really wanted to, you could find that news report.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
While I
fucking
was
bad.
watching it, my girlfriend was going, oh, okay, at least he called them first. Oh, wait, no.
No, he
Nope.
didn't, huh?
So this is when I knew what we were getting into, and I immediately made my decision. Anything bad that happens to Zach is well deserved, and
The demons had some valid points.
and you know what? Goat Demon made some points.
Oh, this is a bit late to bring this up, but what is the temperature here? What do people ghost-wise? Aaron, do you believe in ghosts?
Okay, so I am, an ex-Catholic, as we established at the beginning of every episode, which means that I'm an atheist, but I feel bad about it, as per John Mulaney. But, I'm still enough of a Catholic to not do some of the dumb shit that this guy does at the end. I don't really believe in ghosts, but also I'm not gonna, take haunted house dirt and leave it in my basement, like this guy.
Michael?
So, much like my position on, God and religion writ large, I'm a bit of an agnostic on ghosts. Maybe it's just because I can't make an executive decision. But, I could be swayed either way. I'm open enough to say if I personally had a haunting experience, that would be enough. I've yet to have one, and if anyone knows me, I'm not exactly someone who's afraid to be a little reckless, so, I have invited it in. I took a screenshot of the opening of this film that was warning about hauntings through, technology, and I'm like, look, maybe keeping this screenshot might make, maybe.
Please,
Nothing.
Baphomet, please fuck up my iPhone.
I super don't believe in ghosts. I don't think they're real, but I don't judge people that do. I used to believe in a god. So, we all got, things that we believe in. No shame. So, whenever I watch these, I would totally lock myself in a demon house.
See, and that is why our Twitter poll was absolutely correct.
Yep.
moron.
So So I appreciate everyone for taking a moment and voting in our Twitter poll and voting correctly that my brother is by far, by a 60-point margin, the most likely person on this podcast to be possessed.
Listen, if it's real, it'll come fuck with me. And it hasn't, so it's not real. This is
and he was never seen again. This was the last episode of the podcast.
This is an open call to Goatman, 12-foot tall Goatman with the horns. If you would like to possess me, do your worst.
I cannot wait to make a documentary film about my brother's exorcism and open with this audio.
Oh my god, it's gonna be so good. Fuck yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get hella views. You know what? That's actually really good for us.
Excellent marketing strategy.
I might win my Emmy. So, much like my brother, Zach Baggins loves to, rile people up. But unlike my brother, he has no respect for people whatsoever. So he shows up at the house in Indianapolis, uninvited, and just is like barging down the door. Hey, I want to talk to you about your story. You know, that traumatic story in which you had 3 fucking exorcisms and, literally sold your house and moved because you couldn't deal with it anymore. That one? Yeah. How do you feel about talking about it with the camera pointing at you?
And he's a dick about it. Like,
yeah.
I know, just going and doing it is bad. That's enough to get you on the dick meter. However, he's like, fuck this. This is ridiculous. And it's just like, what are you doing? There's people are trying to chill. And they say they don't want to talk to him because, like, he's been at the demon house. Because, audience, he bought it.
Yeah.
He bought the demon house. Which, like, I get sure, that. I'm not going to judge him for that one.
I mean, look, I have said it is my dream to stay in, like, the most haunted places. I do feel like you could have, like, rented the demon house.
Oh, he decided... He went full, like, crazy ex-boyfriend. If I don't get the demon house, no one does. But that's a spoiler for the end.
But that's later. So in the process of buying this house, Zach had a dream, purportedly, about a tall demon goat hanging out with other demons.
12 foot
tall. And then a medium sent Zach a text saying, hey, be careful about 12-foot demon goats.
No, he lied. I'm pissed about this. He said that my friend sent me a message about a 12-foot tall demon, and nowhere in the message that he showed in the documentary did it say anything about 12 foot tall. I paused it and rewound it twice. My girlfriend was not happy about this.
What it did say, though, was that the demon was an 8 out of 10 on the demonic possession scale, which I really want to see now. I want to see the fucking demonic possession scale.
Oh, okay. So I'm assuming 10 is the worst?
10 is like Lucifer himself, I assume. And like, what is 1? Like
Casper.
Right.
Just
what is Casper just fucking with your light switch?
Yeah, but listen, Casper got banished from heaven, so obviously he did something. So
what's really annoying is just a Google search does not provide any sort of actual scale. And that's annoying. I want to know what the demonic possession scale is.
I'll see if the George Mason Library gets me any hits.
So, I think, like, a lot of this is exposition that is probably necessary, right? Like, oh yeah, the medium warned you. I wish they could provide, like, timestamps, though. Yeah. Just because so much of this is so easy to, like, retrofit to your story.
This whole story in general is very fragmented, I feel. Like, they never really draw a full through line. Like, there's a lot of, like, okay, there is, when we'll get into it, but, like, I feel like in general, like, this story is just like, yeah, all these weird things happened all around it at once, and we don't have a timeline because that would make too much sense. And it's just, like, trying to disorient the viewer, or maybe it's just bad filmmaking. Probably the second one. But, like, it did, that was another thing that's just like, this isn't working for me.
I don't think those are mutually exclusive. I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, like, on trying to think of what the plot of this movie was, is, man, this movie was hard to film. Which is a weird plot.
Yeah, like I understand the idea of like almost a, frame narrative documentary where you set out to make a documentary about thing A and then it turns into thing B. I love those. I'm a sucker for those. I think they can be done very well. But this was like, we never really had a frame A. So like frame B doesn't make a lot of sense either because what we're framing is nothing.
Well, we know this guy somewhere had a whiteboard that said step 1 buy Demon House, step 2 question mark, step 3 profit.
And I do think like it's just a strange it has so much potential and they just have no interest in living up to any of it.
Completely squandered.
And
you
it
should have
makes
sold
me
it to
mad.
that producer.
Yeah. I mean, would you guys buy the Demon House?
1,000%.
I would totally buy the Demon House.
That's my listen, I want to be a teacher. That's my only chance to own a home.
I mean,
okay.
Yes.
I need to talk about this. So he gets an inspector to come look at the house. And the entire point of this is to look for like mold, all kinds of stuff to try to figure out if maybe there was something in there that might have caused what the family was seeing. That dude found so much mold, black mold, and like all kinds of nonsense. Landlords should be illegal.
Oh yeah, no, there is a shot of like the landlord who like leased this house to the other people, and they have like a fucking nice house, and I thought that too. I was like, oh, this guy should get fucked.
Yeah, he sold, like, I don't know much about landlords. You shouldn't give someone a house with black mold in it, right?
To be fair, so listeners, I used to live in the Gary, Indiana area, the Northwest Indiana area for the past couple years. We definitely had black mold in our apartment too.
Oh my god, Indiana, you good?
Not Northwest Indiana in general. It's a bad place. So that's why like half the stuff in this story is like, that's just the region, y'all. Like, that's pretty normal.
That Gary being Gary.
That's just the U.S.'s infrastructure problem.
Yeah, like, listen, Gary, Indiana is the product of what happens when white people leave an area and they don't support the black people who live there, and you get crumbling infrastructure and high crime rates. So, like, that's the main thing that we should keep in mind in this story is that, like, Zach is definitely exploiting like the fucking structural inequities in our systems to make a stupid documentary. So fuck this guy.
At the time he buys the house, and this is important to note, there were people living in it. There were squatters.
Yeah.
And they were just vibing. They were chilling. And he bribes them to leave. And then starts this whole documentary. And I have to say this. I'm sorry. Like, at the end of this fucking documentary, he tears down the house. So what he did was he kicked the family out of their house.
He created more homeless people, is what he
did.
did.
And then, as if he was going, job well done.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
I mean, so, like, that's the thing is I almost think, maybe this is just my personal belief system, but I really think you get like what you give into this world, right? Like, so if you give like kindness and support, that's what you get. So Zach gives like chaos and like he does a lot of like exploitation. So the idea of him being possessed or him being like haunted, it's like, well, yeah, bitch, don't be a dick. Like,
this is what you deserve.
Yeah.
So is this like a good point to talk about like the stuff that happens to him in the house? Because I have thoughts.
So basically, like, this point of the documentary is just telling you the story that we already told you in the beginning. I do think it's important to stop, though. Hollywood wanted rights to the story, and the family were like, hey, we might give you a movie deal. And Zach tries to frame this as like, everyone in this story, including the priest, is out to get fucking money. And it's like, okay, if you understand like what selling the rights looks like, they're not getting wealthy off of this.
They're probably getting like a maximum of $50,000. Like that's not that much, dog.
Also, fuck off. Like,
yeah. Also,
you're making a movie about them.
Right.
You're making a movie about them.
He's mad
Such a
because he
hypocrite.
doesn't have like Hollywood budget, so he can't pay them 50,000 for their story. And I don't know. I thought all of this was like him trying to set up like a vast conspiracy that this family was like faking it with the priest and the CPS agent and the nurses and the doctors and everyone they've ever met. And it's like, I understand that we should take stories of possession, especially, and like do some real looking at it. If you know the story that The Exorcism of Emily Rose is based off of, like that is literally just the exploitation of a mentally ill girl. And I do think these stories require us to be very critical, but I don't think the first thing we should jump to is they're just trying to make money off of us all.
Because this movie has some very shady exploitation of a girl with at least some type of mental illness, and it was heartbreaking to watch. As there's a girl that goes to the house, and apparently like a week or two later she attempts suicide, and they take her to an exorcism, which is a lot to deal with in that sentence alone. I will say that in that scene, we have my favorite interaction, where the priest tells Zach which door to go through, and Zach doesn't see, and continues to try to go out of the wrong door. This goes on for about 30 to 40 seconds of the priest going, that door, that door, that door!
I'm
Which
glad
really-
you brought the priest up, because I went and looked up the church that he is at. It is Saint Stephen Martyr. It's technically in Maryville, but sure, it's in the area. And I looked at his bio on the church website. His name is Father Michael Maginot, and it says there. Let's see, Father Maginot would become the pastor of the parish and would be asked by many priests in trouble to act as their advocate. In 2012, he was given permission by the bishop to be an exorcist for a family whose case would eventually receive worldwide notoriety after the mother decided to make the case known to the press. So, like, the Catholic Church is using this guy's story as, like, you know, what's the word? Like, press, like, exposure. Like, they're leaning into it, which is interesting.
But that's not surprising, right? Like, this is, if you look at Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are not Catholics, who were pretty a-religious their whole life, the Catholic Church was more than happy to work with them and set that up because it was good press, right? You had Amityville, you had the story of Annabelle, you know, all the Conjuring universe is based off of like their various moments. So that's not super surprising to me that they're more than happy to use this as like good PR spin.
It's the Catholic Church doing what the Catholic Church likes to pretend it's been doing since its, like, conception. Fighting demons. And it's a tangible enemy. That's what every religion wants. You cannot tell me there's not a church in the world that secretly wants a demon to show up for them to kill it. Like, that's such good press.
With love, when you get possessed, I am calling a Catholic church. I'm not letting our father, who is a pastor at a Baptist church, leading your possession. Nah, the Catholics know how to do it.
That I will give them that one point. Catholics do know how to do exorcisms, and that's because they made up demons.
That's a take, I guess.
Yep.
That is just one of those things that, like, as a future history teacher, I hope you don't actually believe.
I don't at all. If we had mail, the hate mail I would get for that sentence. Ooh. Oh, I'm loving it. I hope we get famous so that I get canceled for this take.
So, the woman that you were talking about, who, you know, she was the daughter of a former tenant in that house, who said that she never went to the basement, seemed really bothered and, like, very, like, visually upset about being there. And I don't know. I looked at that and did not get what Zach was trying to make me feel. I felt angry for this woman and her children, saying, is something going to come back to me? Because the truth of the matter is, it doesn't really matter if this is a actual demon, like, hell entity, or something that like is psychological, something that you believe in, right? Like, truthfully, it doesn't really matter because you're still having those impacts.
Also, this is when I realized that he sucks in such a real way. Because the kids were trying to have, like, a fun moment with him. And they're like, oh, yeah, can we do, like, the cool thing where we turn the lights off? And he's like, that's serious. And then he's like, that's when they'll, like, toss you around and you'll get sick and you have to get a priest to help you out. And I'm like, you suck so bad. You have the best job in the world, and you suck.
Yeah, that's I also turned around that part too, because like that struck me as very real. Like from my time as a school nurse, like that's what kids are like. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, let's do it like they do on the TV shows." And like the fact that he was just like, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna use these kids' like genuine fascination and interest in this to make money and be like a cynical douche about it." Like it's so gross. And I mean, like the fact that he exploits this poor girl's like suicide attempts to just add an extra 20 minutes onto his film, like fuck off, man.
Well, and he does that with the suffering of everyone, right? So like much like a lot of demonic places and any sort of, if you know about like possessions and hauntings and all of that, there tends to be a lot of like negative energy that comes along with it, right? You tend to have illnesses, you tend to have accidents. It's one of those, correlation does not imply causation. However, it is a constant thing. And so instead of saying bad shit happened to almost everyone involved with this, it's really scary, Zach uses each and every person's suffering as a plot line. And so it's, the girl who attempts suicide, it's his friend that ends up dying. And then he tries to equate it to his own thing, which is like, I roided out at a cameraman one time.
Let's talk about this fucking that roid rage. Right. Oh my god, I'm mad about
my
this.
favorite scene of this movie. Oh, audience, you're in for a treat. This is the best fucking part. Mike, would you like to describe it? Because I feel like you're the least biased.
I mean, no, I wouldn't. But so we get this moment where Zach talks about feeling like he gets possessed being downstairs. And he like bristles, and I mean, this is an audio medium and I'm about to like act it out, but like he like puffs up his chest, but like puts his head down in like a menacing way. Like it looks like someone trying to like emulate someone on TV being intimidating. It's so clear.
Before this, he says he has one of those moments, and all he does is he fucking squares up. He just, like, does one of the, like, fight me, bro moments with his cameraman out of nowhere.
It's like he's a little bit too drunk at a party, and, like, his cameraman's like, hey, man, why don't you just, like, sit down for a bit? And he's, like, basically, like, it's supposed to be like, oh, I'm attacking the cameraman, but it really just looks like he's, like, pushing him a little bit. Just, like, guiding him around the room.
Like, redirecting him. It looked... As someone who has done some theater, it looked like stage fighting.
Yeah.
And it looked like bad stage fighting.
That is my second favorite bad acting moment that happens with that cameraman. Because that cameraman does something later that is so... It's beautiful, guys. And I don't think it's a moment you think I'm going to say this.
I got really annoyed with this scene because it was the kind of thing where if it was real, then I don't know, there are a million different ways you could talk about it, and there are a million different like interesting storytelling ways of like, I would believe it more or buy it more if it was the kind of thing where you're like constantly snapping at someone, you're more irritable. Like we've all in this time of Corona probably had those moments like where we're just like, God, I'm being such an insufferable ass today. Can't help it. And that would be believable to me, right? Like if he was snapping at his cameraman, if the cameraman was like, oh, we need to readjust your mic. And he was like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That would be believable. But him like randomly squaring up and puffing up, I'm like, all right, you're acting like how you think someone who feels human emotions are. And it's not believable.
And at one of these points, he doesn't do it to his cameraman, he does it to a guest. Like a dude coming to inspect the magnetic fields or something. Some made-up thing ghost people believe in. And, like, this dude is 5 foot nothing, and he looks like he's adorable old Keebler elf man, and he's just talking about like what's going on, and then our Zach just goes, I need to take a walk, and takes a walk in the basement, and he fucking lunges at the little doctor guy again, and it's so weird.
We didn't even talk about like the weird stuff they found in the basement. Can we?
Oh,
can we
yeah.
unpack
God.
This
So
the
the-
yeah, go ahead.
Weird stuff.
The basement had a concrete floor, but there was dirt under the stairs. And in that dirt, they found all sorts of things like a press-on fingernail. What else? I listed a
Women's
couple.
underwear.
Women's underwear. Children's socks, a comb, and just like a bunch of like random shit just buried there.
Okay, but also, when the cops were called, they said that they just started digging.
Yeah, like cops do, in houses. They just bring their shovels and start digging in houses, because that's what cops do.
Listen,
Fucking
I know
God.
we're going through a political, national conversation about what policing should look like in the United States. I didn't know we had to take a stand against cops just digging. I didn't know that they were doing that. Stop it, cops!
The involvement of the Gary Police Department is very strange, and I have had mixed involvement with the Gary Police Department in my time in Northwest Indiana, but like it seems very strange to me that they would be filming. Like they had allegedly these clips of the officers like going into the house on the first investigation and like doing all this shit, and like I think the only thing that was believable about that was the one where the cop is like, yeah, no, I'm not going in there. I'm not gonna fuck with this thing. Somebody called and said your house was getting broken into. I'm not gonna fuck with that. And the second one was the officer that like allegedly like got injured due to the demon because he slipped on the ice and
oh my
busted
God,
his head.
I love
and I was
that.
like, yeah, man, I fucking busted my ass on ice too. But I don't generally think it's because of demons. I think it's because I'm a dumbass.
The priest was like, I fell off my bike, but it was totally the demon that pushed me. It was totally the demon.
He didn't just say that. He said, I fell off my bike. Everyone was staring at me the whole time I was riding, and apparently I was riding it sideways. I'm like, all right, dude, so you were fucking drunk on your bike. Like,
It happens to all of us.
it's fine. It's not, but like, it's fine enough.
Oh,
But like,
man,
don't blame fucking demons.
And the things that they blamed on the demon got more and more convoluted as they went on. Like, there was another one where they're like, and then a cop got shot. I was like, yeah.
In a home invasion.
Unfortunately, that happens quite a lot up in Northwest Indiana.
I was gonna be like, he's a cop. Like, if it kind of happens. Like, I'm not trying to be flippant, but
No, I mean, it is an unfortunate side effect of being in that line of work, but like, yeah.
Well, and it felt kind of like a how many bad things can happen to these people, and again, it seemed like it was more for a storyline than it was like actual legitimate concern.
there was that one lady that had like a lot of shit happen to her.
Yeah, her, I might believe the CPS agent.
Yeah. Like, she had a rough time.
The second
What-
CPS agent, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first one was like, fuck this, I'm leaving, which, mood.
Yeah,
Oh, can we talk about how long they talked about this greasy window?
oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh, the blinds.
There was this blind, like, these blinds that apparently were kind of greasy in, like, the middle. And they spent so long talking about
They
it.
spent like, no shit, 10 minutes.
They set up a
talking
whole
about-
sting operation with a Q-tip jammed in the door because they thought the grandma was pouring oil on the blinds, and they're like, oh wow, the oil we didn't clean off is still there. That's fucking wild, yo. Damn.
And then a lady touched it and her hand went white.
And okay, that because this first CPS worker is a black person, and then they just showed a picture of a white person's hand. And I was just like, hey, what are we doing here?
Oh,
So
God.
was this supposed to be the first? Because I thought it was supposed to be the second CPS.
I also
agent.
thought it was
Okay,
supposed to be
I
the
thought it
second
was
one.
supposed to be the first. Either way, it's still just a white person's hand.
Yeah, because the second CPS agent is a white lady, and her hand looked pale, but like, isn't it kind of cold? and Gary, Indiana during
I mean,
this
it's
scene.
it's fucking freezing all the time up there, but like...
Well, yeah, but like, if we're gonna allow a demon to push a dude into some ice, then we can, the demon also made it cold.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, the explanations just get stranger and stranger. And I will say, I feel so much for this poor CPS agent, because she had, like, accidents, like, freak accidents, illnesses, injuries, all of the above.
I think she got in a motorcycle accident after a jet ski accident.
Yeah.
Which like, I automatically feel less bad for any person that gets injured on a jet ski. Just a rule of life. But that's still rough. Like, I have enough sympathy to be like, that's rough, buddy.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask before we get into the third act of this movie is when they're talking about how the demon took over that one girl, they say that she replicated the stigmata during her suicide attempt, which, like, I mean, I don't want to fucking speculate about that because that's ghoulish, but, like, the stigmata in general with, like, demon possessions, you guys know a little bit more about that than me. Like, it seems strange that, like, during hauntings and possessions, like, demons would try to do that. I feel like that's, I don't know, that seems out of character for demons.
So my understanding of, like, the explanation of it, I want to preface all this by saying, as someone who is agnostic on all this, I don't endorse any of the things I'm going to say about possessions and things like that.
I just want to know about the lore.
Yeah, it's just really, like, possession lore that I'm talking about here. So the idea of the stigmata is you are mocking the crucifixion of Christ.
Okay.
So you're like perversing that. It's why demons tap supposedly in threes. It's why they tend to make, like, clocks stop at certain times. It's all, like, you know, mocking the Trinity, mocking Christ, mocking crucifixion, because it's supposed to be like them giving God a middle finger.
Okay. That seems pretty tame, but alright.
That was also going to be my answer, so I feel we got two lore agreements, so that's got to be pretty right.
Yeah.
Or, like most things, we were lied to by our parents.
But see, no, this is a lot of, like, me doing independent research about possessions, because my dream job would probably be to be an exorcist.
The Pope is not gonna like you.
Nope.
Which is a good thing. Which means I'm more likely to like you.
Yeah. Look, I know that I was born into the wrong religion and the wrong sexuality to ever be an exorcist.
God, I actually think that would be the thing our dad would struggle with. If, like, you had to work for the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I actually do have to say my father would probably take it worse if I converted to Catholic than me even being an agnostic.
Oh, yeah. Like, he'd be like, I accept my gay atheist son, but a gay Catholic son? What?
Have to draw the line somewhere.
So, I think it is time to move to the next phase of this.
My favorite. It's coming.
I mean, look, like, I think the third act is honestly just where the film decides it's not going to tie any of its loose ends.
Nope.
Oh, yeah. I was like, okay, we're done with those people?
We just, like, stop talking and, like, end. So it'll seem like we don't cover everything. No, listeners, it's just the film doesn't cover anything.
They just give up. Like, there's a plot line with, like, an ex-boyfriend that allegedly cursed the house, and, like, the former owners that maybe are spreading those possessions around. But then Zach's just like, anyway, my time. It's me.
Oh, I need to hit, like, some bullet point weird things that they just say and don't come back to. We found a clip-on nail, so maybe it has to do with necromancy. Drop the point.
Yeah, necromancy is a big word to just drop and then
just
be
say
like
that. Anyway, bye.
Second crazy thing they just drop is, we found some candles, so maybe this possession was an inside job. Which is the craziest. I forgot. Where they were like, we found some candles, maybe this was I would love to see a Conjuring movie where there are, like, a CSI, where they're doing an investigation, and they're like, I think this demon is a plant. Like, what the fuck?
Well, and then they were like, oh yeah, those candles could also mean satanic rituals. And it's like, or they could just be candles.
I do need all of us to make a promise right here and now, a blood promise between two siblings and a non-sibling, that if we ever live in a house with an unfinished basement, we are going to have a single table, a candle, a crucifix, and a Bible open to a random verse. And that is it!
Gotta set the aesthetic up.
I would like a loose light bulb dangling just above your head, and pendulum swinging. I want it swinging at all times. If it stops swinging, then someone has to wake up, go downstairs, tap
the alarm
it again.
goes off.
Yep.
After
Josh,
45 minutes, the cops are called.
Josh, the light bulb's not moving again. You gotta go get it.
It's your turn.
It's your turn. I'm not getting up again.
Thankfully, we do keep the baby down there as well, so we can just change the diaper.
The baby stopped floating. Go make it float again and walk on the ceiling.
So, Aaron, that's a hard maybe from you?
For buying this house and...
No, for just if you ever have an unfinished basement, you will stick only a table, a Bible, a crucifix, and a candle.
Here's the thing. We don't talk about this that much on the show, but I am also not a full white person, and we get to some extreme white people love to get haunted shit in this last third act, and stuff like this is why I am the least likely to get haunted on this podcast, because I don't do dumb white people shit like set up altars to Satan in my unfinished basement.
So I have to defend myself. I think I am the least likely, because I would be an impossibly difficult possession. I think I would be so frustrating, and I give off such chaotic energy that I think even a demon would be like, I don't want to fucking touch that.
That's fair.
Really? Acid right now? Okay, listen, man.
Are you sure? Don't you want to drink some water?
This demon would literally try it and go, you know what? I think I'm good.
That cat keeps looking at me weird.
Both cats know something is up. You're so chaotic, and you are fully aware that you're possessed and have performed an exorcism on yourself.
And your brother keeps screaming, "Demons come inside me! Demons enter my soul! Demons drag me to hell!" I just want to be possessed. There are some haunted houses around me, so boys, when COVID's over...
Duh.
Okay. Listen to, my brother. My brother and Demon.
So, who would like to take away this third act from me? Because what else even happens?
Let's start with the cameraman.
Cameraman.
Yeah. Yes. So, we cut to a hotel.
Well, we gotta go a little bit before this. Because the cameraman is,
he's there when they're doing the dumb EMF readings, and they have with the black mask that they saw, which was clearly just somebody's finger they put under the camera for 5 seconds.
They see this black shadow move, and the cameraman supposedly touches it. And then this is my favorite fucking scene in the entire fucking movie. So the cameraman sneaks into the basement, and he literally tiptoes like a cartoon villain with a bag of money over his shoulder, and just...
Yeah, he really did. I felt like he needed the full stripes and the little mask.
I was playing Pink Panther music. Bottom.
This, because what they say happens is they say that the cameraman began to lie down in this place where allegedly somebody was murdered and was trying to commune with demons or whatever. This documentary suffers from a serious tell but does not show problem where it's constantly being anyway, we have to insert a title card to add some spooky shit here because our footage just wasn't that good.
Oh, God. But yeah, then they go to the hotel room where we see what I have seen every day of going to George Mason University, which is a white dude screaming at an empty room with 2 of his buds filming him, doing nothing to help him.
Nothing. Not a thing.
And the cameraman is just screaming into the empty elevator, going what the fuck are you gonna do about it? And they eventually get him to calm down, and he's like, alright guys, don't film this. And then they do we put the camera on the ground, but it's pointed at his ankle,
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb. And
So dumb.
the cameraman's like, yeah, I saw... You know what I saw. You know what I saw, Zach. You know what I saw.
And Zach's like, this freaked me out. And it's
I
like,
never told anyone about this 12-foot demon goat that I can't stop talking about.
And he's like, I saw... And then he eventually says, saw the 12-foot demon in the hotel elevator. To which my thought is, leave him alone. He got a room.
Yeah.
My thought is, how tall is this elevator?
It's a nice elevator.
Like, is the demon, like, crouching?
Oh, fuck, my horns. Shit. Ah, damn it.
I'm gonna get you. Oh, fuck.
Oh, no.
You know, I'm just gonna take the stairs. Damn it, I'm sorry, guys. This happens all the time.
I'll
I'm just
meet
gonna
you
go back
on
to
this
hell.
floor. Don't go anywhere.
And eventually, like, they have the cameraman, like, I guess, like, say things to Zach, and he's like, from the demon, and he's like, I'm gonna find you. Like, you found him. He's in the demon house. The house you live in, demon.
Oh my
Demon.
god. And then,
Why did you go to the hotel to get him when he has the house?
And, like, the thing that they try to narrate is that, like, the demon is, like, has a personal vendetta with Zack at the end, because he's like, oh no, man, the demon doesn't want me. It wants you. And then he looks, and then the camera, they add in a title card that says, Adam looks directly at Zack. It's like, alright, because they fucking put the camera on the ground, so they can't show it. And then, like, they're like, oh no, the air around Adam is freezing cold. Oh wow, it's so chilly. And it reminded me of, listen, South Park is a bad program and you shouldn't watch it, but there is one episode of South Park where they make fun of ghost hunters, and, like, the ghost hunters are like, oh, do you feel that? Oh, there's a chill over there. Oh, do you feel that? I felt somebody touch me. Oh, somebody is pooping and peeing in my pants right now. Oh, there's a ghost pissing my pants right now. And it felt like that. Just like, y'all, just fucking be better at being scary. This is bad.
Yeah, because, like, even as far as, like, mockumentaries go, this wasn't even a momentarily believable thing.
So
No.
dumb.
But then we get to the part that is up there with some mockumentary nonsense, where it just shows Zach putting up some plywood over the windows of the house. And to quote my girlfriend, oh? And then-
I wanted to turn this last part into a drinking game, where every time he said plywood or pushed on the plywood, you took a drink. But I'm a lightweight, and I would have blacked out.
you would have
Yeah,
died.
no, that would have been
this
some bad
was-
shit.
My brother's friend in me.
Yeah, I would have still been hungover.
Ooh, if we get a ghost on the podcast, do you guys know any ghosts?
No, again, I don't really know if I believe in them. It's hard to have friends you don't really know if you believe in.
I think I have some friends I don't know.
I
if
definitely
believe
have some friends I do not believe in.
in. Okay, so this part where he fucking goes and, like, they make sure that they, like, drill in the plywood so he cannot get out if for some reason there's a fire, which was very funny. He's also, like, he's pushing on the plywood, he's like, oh man, I'm really scared, and he's texting his friends like, man, I don't want to turn the lights out. Oh well, time to turn the lights out immediately afterwards. So stupid!
Well, also, they show him walking around the, like... Oh, I need to back up again. He brought furniture.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're right. I didn't put that together, but of course he had to bring his own furniture.
But not just a bed. He brought an old TV, a nightstand, 2 chairs, a painting on the wall. He put a painting on the wall. Why? There's also another room where he put a table and a baby doll.
Yeah, he did that. Baby doll was included.
That doesn't come up again. It's Chekhov's baby.
Oh
It's the opposite of Chekhov's baby, because they never bring it up again.
the baby literally stays on the mantelpiece the whole time.
Yep.
Oh
Doesn't
my
even
God.
move an inch. And come on, guys. If you're a demon, the first thing you're gonna do is, fucking baby doll, I'm gonna throw it at you.
Well, babies and demons are tight. Babies,
Yeah.
demons, and puppies. Those things love each other.
So puppies don't love demons, but puppies love babies, and babies and demons do love each other.
Yeah. It's like,
Somebody make a Venn diagram.
Yeah. Yep.
we'll post it to the Twitter.
So the possession night, the locked in night, Zach's great lock in is pretty uneventful.
Yeah, it's super uneventful.
This reminded me of like, did you guys ever do church lock ins where they literally just like had you camp out in the church? Yeah.
We went to the same church. Yes, we did.
Yeah. Well, it felt like that. It was like, oh, this is like pretty fucking lame.
The only thing that happens, and of course is mostly off camera, is it shows Zach in his bed with his boots on, and he suddenly looks into the open... Okay, first of all, he sleeps with the door open, which I get, like, you want to do... That's scarier than turning off the lights in a demon house.
That was the scariest part of the movie for me. Like, I was actually afraid about that. I was like, oh, this is suspenseful. This is working.
I don't... If you sleep with your door open... Stop listening to this podcast.
Okay, the reason I sleep with my door open is because if I don't, I have two small mammals that live with me that will not stop screaming bloody murder.
Yeah.
You're a freak, and I'm upset we know each other.
No, I get the screaming small mammals thing.
Yeah, so he screams, what does he scream? Get the fuck away?
Yeah, something boring.
Yeah, and then he throws something, and then he jumps back, and then we get a title card.
That says that Zach's eyes started hurting real bad.
Yep, and I saw a black shadow, and then he goes on his description that he fucked up his eyes somehow, and has to wear corrective lenses.
Shut up, bro. You need to wear glasses. Like, that's not demon possession.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the dude with the little thing that came to the Keepler guy. I'm sorry, guy, but you're short. And he's like, yeah, all of my organs are shutting down. And that's peculiar. You know, that's weird. Yeah. And I don't know why he started with this organ, but the first organ he mentions is, yeah, my prostate's real bad.
You're right. He immediately goes to his prostate.
To which my girlfriend had the greatest line of, did you fuck that demon? Did you fuck
the demon fucked him.
Yeah, no, he got pegged by Baphomet, and honestly, high five.
Listen, man, 12-foot demon goat man, whomst among us wouldn't?
All he would do is say, I'm 12 feet tall. You know, as someone who's 12 feet tall, do you understand that, like, being tall in this world, did you know that I'm actually 12 feet tall?
Yeah, you're not allowed to listen to this podcast if you're taller than 6'2". That might actually be too tall.
Yeah, that's, you're only in if, like, you have express position at that point, like.
Yeah. Send us your 500-word essay to see if you can continue listening, if you're above 6'2". And if you're below 4'11".
No, I'm all for short people.
No, all short people can listen to this podcast.
Yep.
How tall are you, Aaron?
I'm 5'7" on a good day.
Well, listen, we're right in that window. All of us.
Yeah. All of us are in the exact same window.
I'm like 5'7", 5'8"-ish.
Yep.
And I am 5'6", so...
Oh, we out here.
Short kings.
Short kings, we stand. We three short kings.
Yes.
That's what we should have named this podcast.
Well, listen, when the McElroys send us a season
that's when we'll know we've made it and we need to rebrand. Can we talk about the cameraman's tattoos afterwards?
He gets 666 tattooed on his hand, which, if you looked at him and said, would you assume this man has 666 tattooed on his hands? My answer would have been, yeah.
Props, yeah.
And then they say he's living a demon lifestyle in which they show a girl about an inch away from sucking his dick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Michael, but you're... Yeah. It was the funniest joke you've made in a minute.
Look, I'm fucking funny, and that's why demonic possession and I just wouldn't jive. But, okay, so I just would like to know what the demon lifestyle is. Is it similar to the gay lifestyle? Like, do you, like, plot the end of heterosexuality?
Yeah, that's the one I don't know. I just recently got into the gay community. So
if we have any demons out there, could you answer some questions I have about what a demonic lifestyle looks like?
Which one of you is the man?
Which one of you is the priest, which one of you is the angel, and which one of you is the demon?
Do you guys sometimes roleplay that one of you is the fallen angel?
If you're a demon, do you sometimes like to get up in a priest costume?
Oh my god.
We've killed Aaron. We've killed Aaron.
My cousin's a demon.
Jesus.
This is my favorite one we've ever done, and I say that
This
every
is what
podcast.
happens when my brother and I just yes and each other about 27 times.
Again, if you hear a weird edit, that's because Aaron had to deal with another 35 minutes of me and my brother being ridiculous.
Okay, so 666 on your hand, taking naked photos with a woman, those are all the hallmarks of a demonic lifestyle.
Which does mean Jerry Falwell is halfway there.
So, after this, we get the story, that strange story of the cameraman. What happens directly after?
I think they tear the house down, right?
Yeah, I
that's
think
when they
that's
tear the
it,
house
right?
down.
I mean, they talk about, like, how Dr. Taft's organs are shutting down, and
Yeah.
the CPS worker needs therapy, which, like, hey, everyone who works for CPS probably needs therapy. That's not abnormal.
Yeah.
Also, everyone involved with this film should be in therapy.
That's also true.
So yeah, Zach tears the house down because he's selfish and can't let any of us have any fun, but keeps little mementos from the house.
Some
which
real white people shit right here.
This is some real white people shit as a white people. This is some real white people shit.
This is some real white nonsense is what it is. Because he keeps like a jar of the dirt.
No, he keeps multiple
Yeah,
5-gallon buckets.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
He
that's...
keeps so much of that dirt.
Yeah, like, listen, I don't believe in ghosts and demons, but also I wouldn't fucking put hellmouth dirt in my personal storage unit.
Also, I don't know if it's his person. Now all you got is a haunted storage unit. That's
Yeah.
gonna see so many more people.
I love that journey for the demon who was like, fuck, they're on to us. They're trying to exorcise us. And then Zach said, you know what? I'm going to call a bunch of attention to this home, tear it down, and then give you a whole storage unit complex to just run amok in.
It's almost the humane way. They rehomed a demon.
What a fucking moron. I hate this guy so
It's like one of
much.
those people that, like, you hear a story of a lion living with a couple, and they're like, we set it off into the wilderness, like a retreat. A ghost retreat.
Mm-hmm. That's the weirdest thing about this film is that it ends with, like, the suggestion that, like, oh no, we tore the house down and now the portal to hell is open. It's like, y'all, this...
All you did was, like, the only meaningful thing he did was kick a family out of a home.
Yep.
Yup.
Yep.
And, like,
That is
I know
literally it.
legally they were squatters. They were just vibing.
Yeah, but they did have, like, legal rights to it.
Yeah, squatters' rights.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Just
Oh,
let
fuck
them
this
hang out
guy.
there. Yeah, fuck this guy. Michael, do you have any, like, fun facts that you have been withholding from us?
So there's not a lot of fun facts around here.
That's probably true.
Truthfully, like, this film was pretty universally panned, which I think is really fucking funny. That basically every reviewer, and it really only got reviewed in, like, diehard horror film circles, and basically everyone's like, yeah, if you like Zach Baggins, you'll like this film, so we don't think many of you will like this film.
Yeah, because he sucks.
I really appreciate that is basically, I have summed up Rotten Tomatoes' summary of reviews here, is that if you like Zach Baggins, you'll like this film, and we don't think enough of you like Zach Baggins for anyone to like this film.
My least favorite Baggins.
My least favorite documentary horror film.
Yeah, it was...
Yeah. God, it was a long movie.
Do we want to rate this documentary horror film?
Yeah, I want to go last.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one one man goat. Or actually, I want to give this one a BuzzFeed Unsolved Goat Man's Bridge. Watch that instead.
I'm just gonna give this one, Jesus Takes Up His Cross, the second station, because it was certainly a chore watching this movie.
I hate to do this to both of you.
Oh, I'm getting ready to hang up.
I am giving this film one fedora. It is insufferable, it is douchey, and you should probably just throw it out.
I give this movie a milady.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, unfortunately, we've gone through another movie. We will return in a couple weeks for Michael's next Season of Spooks pick. But Joshua, it is your turn to make a pick. What have you got in store for us?
It is not my turn. It
Why
is
is that?
the people's turn.
Oh, fuck.
It is the people have decided. We told y'all a long-ass time ago, if we could get 20 followers on Twitter, we'd watch the motion picture Cats and review it. Y'all, we got 21 followers. We're watching Cats.
This is fucking dumb.
You know what the best part about this is? There are a lot of like religious allegories to
that was the original challenge,
Yeah.
right? We were going to try to compare Cats to fucking resurrection theory, so...
Yep.
So,
Aaron is positively glee-ridden. He is the happiest I've ever seen
Like,
him.
10% of the stuff we've reviewed on this podcast is Andrew Lloyd Webber material, and I'm not a fan.
welcome to Android Lever, Lloyd Webber, Andrew, and welcome to Andrew Lloyd Webber, the podcast. Nailed it in one. One take green, that's what they call me.
Is it?
Oh, God. Well, if listening to Josh try to get through his cool nickname makes you want to cry, just know that it is okay to cry, because even Jesus wept. We'll see you all next time.